so my question is, over the past year, there have been many social issues that have erupted on campus, such as the gender-based violence in the country, the homophobia present in residences, and the alcohol policy in university spaces. What do you think the Prim's responsibility is when it comes to navigating these issues in the house and ensuring that Harmony is a safe and diverse space for all?
Thank you for your question. I definitely think that as a Prim, you can't always represent every single being in the entire house, but you have to be a voice for the house. And thus it is so important that you always keep an ear out and you're always in touch with everything happening, and always speaking to members of your house and members of your HC team, so that you are ensured that in every situation you are as educated as can be before you form your own opinion and before you speak for the house. And then definitely things like gender-based violence and homophobia in reses. It is so important to have perspective in situations like these. It is so important to know what is going on, not only on campus, but in the country. And I firmly believe that having perspectives in situations like these is so important as a team, because you need to work together to work through situations like these. And that is why I strongly believe that we should consider in the term 2020-2021 to have a male advisor on our HC team. I think it is so important, because that is another way that we can be inclusive and that we can be diverse and gain perspective. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now people can start raising their hands to ask their questions. Okay, Megan, I see a hand, Trishay, and Nicolese. Okay, we'll take those three and then we'll move on. So Meg.
Hi, Milena.
Hey, Meg.
So in your speech, you spoke quite nicely about how you felt that Harmony has let you be able to show your own colors and be comfortable. How would you then take that as a Prim for both the seniors who will be in res, but also the newcomers for next year?
So thank you, Meg, for your question. It is so important to always know that we are dealing with people of all walks of life, people with different faiths, different religions, different beliefs, different races, different cultures, and the list goes on. And I just think that welcoming is such a strong, fundamental thing. But then also being someone that didn't experience welcoming in res, it's so important to also include your seniors and also make them feel at home, people that enter res at a later stage, maybe in second year, maybe mid first year. It's so important to always be in touch with the members of your house, because making someone feel at home and feel welcome does so much. You don't necessarily always have to have events for specific things, even though that is important. Just simple acts of kindness it does so much. And I strongly believe that trickles down from leadership, from your house mother, because if the leadership and if your Prim and your vice Prim and your HC really mirror that kind of behavior, it will really go down on the house as well and inspire people in the house.
Thank you, Meg, for your question, and thanks for your response, Milena. Trishay, I see your hand is gone, so I'm assuming you don't want to ask your question anymore. If I'm incorrect, please just raise your hand again. But Nicolese, you can ask your question now.
Hi, Milena.
Hi, Nicolese.
I just want to ask you about something you said in your speech. So you mentioned one of your goals is to lead with your fellow Harmonites. So my question is, how will you implement or encourage the idea of having the house led with the contributions and input of fellow Harmonites?
Thank you so much. That was such a cool question. I truly believe that there's not one person that can represent the house, as I said in one of the earlier answers. Thus, it is so important to encourage leadership in a way that not all leaders need a title. And I know that sounds very cliche, and a lot of us have heard that so many times, but it is so important to know that as a leader, you can't take on all these responsibilities. It is important to give some of your responsibilities to the members of the house, because in that way you can get more perspective and more insight in situations and functions, and in such a way you can make events and things like that very diverse and more inclusive than only one person arranging an event. So I truly believe in encouraging the members of the house to be a part of leadership and lead with us.
Thanks so much for the question and for your response. Next round of hands, please just raise your hand if you have a question. Okay, Jessie, Jenna, Amina, and then Jess. Okay, that's the order. So, Jessie.
Hi, Milena.
Hey, Jessie.
Okay, when you look at yourself and when you think about how others see you, what type of leader would you describe yourself to be?
Wow, thanks for the question, Jessie. I really think that looking in the mirror or looking at oneself is always a tough thing. It's always tough to nitpick all the positives and especially the negatives. But I truly see myself as a leader that leads with empathy and leads with heart. I think I have great discretion to know when in situations when I should be emotional and when I should be stern. And I think I have a very good combination of the two. One of my strong points, as I said in my speech, is that I truly have a natural ability to connect and engage with people. And I think in a leadership role, that really plays to my advantage.
Thanks so much for the question and for your answer. Jenna/Anya, your question.
It's actually Jenna this time. Hi, Mills.
Hello.
My question is just, I know that as Culture Haka with Corona, there were a lot of events that would have happened that didn't manage to go through. And I wanted to ask, through this time in Corona and in lockdown, leading from afar, what have you learned and what will you take through to this next term?
Nice. Thank you for that question. I think every soul has learned so much from this pandemic, and especially people in positions of leadership. It has definitely taught me that events like SU a cappella, Anthony Orpheus, they are not the end all and be all. I think we put so much effort in things like that, and at the end of the day, this year was just as good as any other, and we did things that we would generally not do if it was a so-called normal term. So what it really taught me is to simplify life and not always take things like that so seriously. I think most of you know I'm fairly competitive, but it just forces you to take a step back and just look at the bigger picture.
Thanks, Jenna, for the question, and thank you, Milena. Amina.
Hi guys, hi Mari, hi Milena. My question is that seeing as you won the Haka this year, and I personally feel like all of you guys did such a great job this year, irrespective of the pandemic and everything. I just want to know, what are the things that you'd like to, what are the things that you feel you guys did very well in, and like what are the things that you feel like you guys could have improved, or if there is anything that you could have improved on as a hawker, or you personally as a hawker?
Thanks so much for your question, Amina, and I miss you in district. I think as a team, or in general, I think you can always improve, and there's always things that you can do better. What I think we did well, despite all the bumps in the roads and hiccups we had in our term, which was quite a few, I honestly think that we really bonded so well as a team, and we could really set our differences aside and work together. I think we had an amazing welcoming week, and if I may say so myself, I think we did a wonderful job of welcoming the newcomers. What I believe that we can do or could have done better, or that I would like to improve on if I have the privilege to be in a position of leadership again, is definitely just to take a step back and not rush into things. Personally, I get very excited about ideas and new concepts. I love thinking creatively. I'm a fairly creative person, so I love rushing into things. And what I personally would like to improve on is just thinking about things, asking for more people's opinions before I do something, gain more perspective, and yeah.
Thank you very much for the question, and once again for your response. Jess, you can ask your question, and then depending on how long or short Milena's answer is, we might have time for your final question, Nicolese.
Hi, Millions.
Hey, Jess.
So my question is, in the event that you're Prim and you're faced with an incident where some of your HC members bring the Des's name into dispute and they have to face disciplinary action, how would you go about dealing with this issue? How would you ensure that you stay impartial? And to what extent do you think the House should be involved in such a process in this specific kind of case?
Thank you so much for your question, Jess. As a person, I truly believe in transparency. With that said, I believe in a certain manner of being discreet about some things. I think depending on the incident, there's some things that should be brought to the House attention if it directly involved the House. But then again, I truly believe learning out of your mistakes. And I think that is very important. So yeah, with that said, I think that if the manner or the situation can be dealt with between the HCT and the house mother, I think that is great. But then again, I think that if the House wants to be involved and it is necessary for the House to be involved, having a lunch discussion, not making the situation formal, not blowing it up if it isn't necessary, I feel like is very important.
Thank you so much for that question and for that answer. We have just under 2 minutes left. So, Nicolese, I see your hand is gone. So if anyone has a final question they want to ask quick fast, now is your time. Oh, Nicolese, your hand is back. Okay. Oh, that happened very fast. Let's try get through both of them. Nicolese, you can go quickly and then.
Okay. Mine's also to do with your speech. So you said you like to engage and connect with people, and that's something you're rather passionate about. So how will you go about still engaging and connecting with Harmonites virtually moving forward this year? Because your term's also obviously going to start this year as well. Many Harmonites aren't going to return until next year.
Such a cool question. I think there is so much power in social media, and being in the position of privilege, all of us have or most of us have university distributed data, and those of us who are back at Reyes, like I am, we have Wi-Fi. So I think there's so much power in social media. There's so much power in Microsoft Teams meetings, a quick Zoom meeting. And I think if you can just hear the person's voice and see the person's face, there's so much power in connecting on that way. And then our lives they're so much simpler in this time. So just a WhatsApp, just a quick voice note to the house, I feel like that will do a lot.
Cool, thank you. Chloe, do we have time for one more question, or are we out of time? Okay, Chloe told me that we're out of time. I'm sorry, Nina, that we couldn't get to your question. I'm sure Milena is open to you sending her a message with the question if you are desperate to know the answer. Thank you so much, Milena, for giving up your time. Good luck with everything, and please enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you so much. Thank everyone for joining and for your questions. I appreciate it.
Cool.